Hello students, in the last class we were discussing about some of the concepts related to the organic chemistry after the completion of those 4 chapters from the inorganic concepts, and this was the new chapter in organic chemistry, that is some basic principles and techniques. Already we have seen 4 important concepts in this. One is tetravalency of the carbon as well as shape of the compounds. Second one is the structure and representation of the organic compounds, and along with that we have also seen some of the examples regarding with the structures, that is a linear structure as well as the cyclic compounds like cyclopropene, cyclopentane, cyclohexane as well as that is chlorocyclohexane. So after that we have seen the three-dimensional representation of the organic compound by taking the example of CH4. In CH4 we have seen the carbon is bonded with the 4 hydrogens, in which 2 hydrogen is in the same plane, that is on the plane of the paper, and you can observe here the 2 hydrogens in which one is represented by the dashed wedge, which is called as a bond away from the observer, and as I already explained, the last one is a solid wedge which represents the bond towards the observer, right? So that is the three-dimensional representation of the organic compound generally in case of CH4. And after that, if we go for the classification of the organic compounds, so generally organic compounds are classified into 2 types. One is acyclic and second one is cyclic, or it is also called as closed chain, or you can also call it as ring compounds. And acyclic compounds are generally called as open chain compounds, and there is no further subdivision of this open chain compounds, but further extended part is only regarded with the cyclic or closed chain, or you can call it as a ring compounds. In ring compound, it is further categorized into 2 ways. One is homocyclic, or you can also call it as a carbocyclic compounds, and second type is called as a heterocyclic compounds. So homocyclic is further divided into 2. One is alicyclic, second one is aromatic, and further aromatic is converted into benzoid as well as non-benzoid, right? So these are the some of the classifications of the organic compound. So as we go with the different definitions regarding with these different classification of the organic compounds, you will clearly understand how to nomenclature or how to identify in which class so the compound can be existed. So if we go for the acyclic or open chain compound, in this the compounds are also called as aliphatic compounds, and which consist of a straight chain or it may be in the form of branch chain, right? So the molecule arrangement or the carbon chain, it may be in the form of straight chain or it may be in the form of branch chain, right? So acyclic, or you can also call it as open chain compound, which means so there is no any closed arrangement of atoms, right? So if you take carbon atoms, so here we'll do the rough work. So in case of acyclic, what happens, or in case of open chain, so the arrangement of carbon atom will be in the straight chain, right? That is carbon bonded with carbon, right? So this is in the form of straight chain continuously, and this is generally called as acyclic, or you can also call it as open chain, right? So it may be also branched, so this is called as straight chain, right? So this is called as straight chain. So in case of a branched chain, the carbon, so the same carbon 1 2 3 4 5 6 carbons are there, so I can write these 6 carbons in the form of 5, and one is branched with the next carbon atom, right? So this can be in the form of a branching, which means if you come from this side, so this is the second carbon atom which is having the branch. So therefore it also consists of 6 carbon atoms, and this is also consists of 6 carbon atoms. You can write in this form also, you can write it in this form also, right? The first form represents the straight chain representation of the carbon atoms, and second form represents the branched chain representation of the carbon atom, right? So if we take we'll take one example, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 as well as 8, right? So these are 8 carbon atoms, and these are in the form of straight chain, right? So you can write in the form of branch. It may be also in the form of carbon bonded with carbon like this 4, and further it is bonded with like this, right? So this may be in the form of branched chain also, right? So therefore acyclic or open chain compounds are also called as aliphatic compounds. So the another important name for the open chain compound is also called as that is aliphatic compound. These aliphatic compounds consist of 2 types. So one is called as a straight chain, that is the first type, and second type is called as a branched chain. And the second main type of the compounds are generally called as alicyclic, or these are also called as closed chain, or another name is ring compounds. Already we have seen some of the examples. The compound consists of carbon atom joined in the form of ring, so it is called as alicyclic. In alicyclic there are 2 types. Further subclassification as we seen in case of the tabular diagrammatic representation. One is homocyclic, second one is heterocyclic, right? So here if you observe in alicyclic, if you take an example of cyclopropane, the 3 carbon atoms are in the ring form. If you take cyclohexane, 6 carbon atoms are in the ring form. In case of cyclohexene, so again the 6 carbon atoms are in the ring form and 2 carbons are here, that is double bonded, right? So in case of alicyclic, we'll do a bit of rough work here. In case of alicyclic, or you can also call it as a closed chain or a ring structure. So if you take 4 carbon atoms, so this carbon atoms can be in the form of a particular ring, right? So this is called as butane. So if you take pentane, it is in the form of this. Already we have seen this structure, this is pentane. If you take a hexane, it will be in the form of like this, right? So it is in the form of hexane, right? Similarly, if you take propane, so it is having the propane, right? So if 3 carbon atom are there, we'll call it as propane. 4 carbon atom, that is butane. 5 pentane, and 6 is called as hexane, right? So alicyclic is nothing but closed chain, or it is also called as a ring form. And most important here is there are 2 classifications of there is further sub classification of alicyclic, in that one is homocyclic and second one is heterocyclic, right? So in homocyclic, what happens? In homocyclic, the atoms which are present, so that is all are same, right? So we will call it as a homocyclic whenever there is a same atoms are present, so that is called as homocyclic. In hetero, so it is different, right? So other than carbon, if any other element is present, then it is called as hetero. For example, if you take these all examples whatever I have given, so these are the example for homo, right? So if I remove one of the carbon atom and if I put oxygen here, then it is called as hetero. For example, if you take carbon, that is if you take a cyclohexane, from cyclohexane, so I will replace one of the carbon. Cyclohexane consists of 6 carbon atoms. So these are 6 carbon atoms. So out of this 6 carbon atom, if I remove one carbon atom and fix a nitrogen, right? So generally if you take in the example of benzene, in benzene, so benzene consists of all the 6 carbon atoms, right? So in a cyclic chain, right? So this is called as a benzene. So from benzene, if you remove one carbon atom and specifically if you add nitrogen, it is called as a pyridine, right? So here there is no only carbon atom, along with carbon there is one more atom, that is nitrogen, so therefore it is called as a heterocyclic, right? Similarly, if you take pentane, right? So from pentane, if you remove one carbon atom and if you add oxygen, and this is an example of furan, right? So this is also example for a heterocyclic, right? So therefore the first main classification is acyclic, so that is also called as open chain. In open chain there are 2 types, one is straight chain, second one is branch chain. Straight chain means carbons are and the carbon chain is in the straight line, and if there is one or 2 connections for the straight chain, then it is called as a branching or branch chain. Further, in the second main classification, that is alicyclic, which is also known as closed structure, or it is also called as a ring form. In that what happens, there is an formation of the cyclic ring. If there are 3 carbon atoms which are in the form of ring, we will call it as propane, and if there are 4, we will call it as butane, 5 pentane, 6 hexane, and further there is 2 types of sub classification. One is homocyclic, second one is heterocyclic. Homocyclic means the carbon atoms all are same in a ring. In a ring, all the atoms are same, then it is called as homocyclic. These all are homocyclic. And if you take the example of heterocyclic means other than carbon, there will be a mixture of another element. So by replacing one of the carbon, we can fix any other atom here. So therefore, it will be different in the structure. So that is called as a heterocyclic compounds, right? So generally, this is also in the form of cyclic, right? If you take example of furan, so out of 5 carbon atoms, 1 is replaced with oxygen. And in case of benzene, if you remove 1 carbon atom and if you fix nitrogen, it is called as pyridine, right? So these 2 are very important examples. So here I have written some of the examples regarding with the alicyclic compounds. So it is also called, here it is also called as so closed chain, or it is also called as resin compounds, cyclopropane, cyclohexane, and cyclohexene, right? So further the aromatic compounds, right? So the next classification is aromatic compounds, and these are generally called as benzoid aromatic compounds, and second one is called as a non-benzoid aromatic compounds, right? So benzoid means which are having a benzene as a base structure, right? So here there is one more important, that is called as a benzoid structure. So benzoid means which are having a benzene as a base structure. If you take a benzene molecule, so where benzene act as a base structure, so for this benzene there might be an attachment of any other atoms, so that is generally called as benzoid. If you take the example of benzene, right, so this is benzene, the continuous arrangement of carbon atoms. You can write like this or you can write like this also. So this is also example for benzene. So if I replace, if I add any of the molecules like OH, so here there is an attachment of OH for this carbon atom, and this is also called as a benzoid, right? So if there is an attachment of NH2, so this is also aniline, right? So that is also example for benzoid, right? So if there are two benzene ring attached each other, right, so that is called as naphthalene, right? So that is also example for, here I have written, right? So here benzene, aniline and naphthalene. The base structure here is the benzene, and if there is a base structure in the molecule, then it is called as a benzoid aromatic compound, right? So if the base structure is benzene, it is categorized into benzoid aromatic, which means the number of carbon atoms are 6. Here if you observe, in the base structure number of carbon atoms are 6 carbon atoms. And second classification in that is non-benzoid. It is called as non-benzoid, which means the molecules which are less or more than 6 carbon atom, it is called as a non-benzoid. Here if you take the example of the same pyridine, that is furan. So in pyridine what happens, if you observe in pyridine, so initially it was 6-membered carbon atom in which one is replaced with nitrogen, and this is called as pyridine, right? So these are 5 carbon atom and 1 nitrogen atom, so this is called as a non-benzoid. Similarly, if you take a furan, in furan what happens, so there is an arrangement of 4 carbon atoms and 1 oxygen atom, right? So this is also example for non-benzoid, right? Similarly, the tropolone, if you take tropolone, there are 7 carbon atoms, right? So these are 7 carbon atoms. So 1 carbon, 2nd carbon, 3rd carbon, 4th carbon, 5th carbon, and 6th carbon, and this is the 7th carbon, right? So these 7 carbon atom further bonded with oxygen. If you count here, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, right? So if greater than 6 or less than 6, then it is called as, if the carbon atoms are greater than 6 or less than 6, that is categorized under the non-benzoid, because generally benzene consists of 6 carbon atom. Here if it is greater than 6 or less than 6, then it is called as non-benzoid. Always remember, so benzoid is the molecule in which the benzene is the base structure, but in case of non-benzoid, other than benzene, you can take a 7-membered ring, you can take 4-membered, 3-membered, like this, other than benzene. So these are categorized into non-benzoid, that is aromatic compounds, right? So further, if you go for the important definition, that might be the 1 marks definition for your examination, that is called as functional group. So generally functional group of atoms is joined in a specific manner. The group of atoms which are joined in a specific manner, which is responsible for the characteristics of chemical properties of an organic compound. If you take any organic compound, so specifically it consists of one of the functional group. So that functional group is defined as the group of atoms joined in a specific manner, so which is responsible for the characteristics of a chemical properties of an organic compound, which is generally called as a functional group, right? So for example, in case of a functional group, so if you take the example for a functional group, so these are the group of atoms which are specific characteristics. These may be chemical properties of the organic compound. For example, if you take a hydroxyl, the carbon atoms, so 2 carbon atom further bonded with OH group. Here OH group act as a functional group, right? Similarly, 3 carbon atoms which are bonded with the CHO group. So this CHO group act as an functional group, right? So that acts as an functional group. Similarly, so the 2 carbon atoms or 3 carbon atoms, so or 4 carbon atoms further bonded with COH. This COH is called as carboxylic acid. That is called as carboxylic group. So this is aldehydic group, right? So already we have some of the general information regarding to the aldehydic group, carboxylic group, right? So this is called as a hydroxyl group, or you can also call it as a alcoholic group, right? So alcoholic group, and these are generally termed as the functional. Therefore, functional group is nothing but a group of atoms, right? So the group of atoms joined in a specific manner, right? So these group of atoms joined in a specific manner. So generally they represents the chemical properties. Generally they represents the chemical properties. right? So generally these represents the chemical properties of overall organic compound, right? So therefore it is called as functional group. Example, if you take OH, if you take COH and COOH, right? So in case of a carbon chain, if there is any kind of a specific molecule, if you take OH, generally we'll call it as a hydroxyl group, or you can also call it as alcoholic group. Here this OH group act as an functional group. And in case of second example, if you observe this CHO group, so here the 3 carbon atom further linked with the CHO group, that is generally called as aldehyde group, where aldehyde group acts as an functional group. And in third cases, so there are 4 carbon atom further bonded with COOH group. Generally it is called as a carboxylic acid group. So this carboxylic acid group is generally termed as the functional group, because to understand this molecule completely, the functional group is very important. Functional group plays a major role in the identification of the complete molecule. Therefore, these are the group of atoms which are joined in a specific manner, so which are further responsible for the overall chemical properties of the complete organic compounds. So therefore, these molecules are specifically called as functional group, right? So this can be asked for 1 mark, or it may ask for 2 marks with examples in your annual examination. Okay, further the next important thing is homologous series. So homologous series, it is a group or a series of organic compound, each containing a characteristics functional group from a homologous series, and members of the series are called as homologous, right? So in case of homologous, that is homo means the same, right? So here in case of a homologous series, what happens? So the organic compounds, right? So it is a series of organic compounds. So whenever there is a connection between 2 or more organic compounds, so there will be, it consists of a particular type of a functional group. It consists of particular type of functional group. So which forms the homologous series. It will form a complete series, and members of this series are called as homologous. This can be asked for 1 mark. Define homologous series, or what are homologous, right? So the members of the homologous series are generally called as homologous, but the definition of homologous is it is a group or a series of organic compound, each containing the characteristic functional group to form an homologous series, and the members of this series are generally called as homologous. And further, after these two definition, that is functional group as well as homologous series definition, there is one of the important concept, that is a nomenclature of organic compound. So generally nomenclature is nothing but the naming of the organic compound. So how we can name or how we can specify the organic compound based on name. So there is one important method for the nomenclature of organic compound, that is generally called as IUPAC system, right? So there are 2 types of naming. One is called as tribal name, or you can also call it as common name. Second one is UPAC system, or it is also called as IUPAC system. IUPAC is abbreviated as International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry. So there is an forum. So that forum is responsible for the naming of all the organic compound. It has certain rules. On the basis of the same rules, we must name the organic compound. That is generally called as IUPAC. This is an International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, and this is accepted worldwide. And in recent days also, so the same system is utilized for the naming of the organic compound. Even if you discover a new organic compound, so they must obey these rules for the naming that any kind of the organic compound. So therefore there are 2 systems, as I said. One is common system, which is also called as a tribal system, and second one is called as UPAC system, or you can also call it as IUPAC system. So the abbreviation for the IUPAC is International Union of Pure and Applied Chemistry, right? So further we'll see the rules for naming the or nomenclature of the organic compound, right? So nomenclature is nothing but naming, remember. So naming of the organic compound, how we can name this complete the given compound, right? So that is based on certain rules, and further we'll see what are the rules for the identification of exact name of the any of the given organic compound. Okay, here if you observe, the systematic name of any of the organic compound is generally derived by identifying its parent's hydrocarbon, right? So that is parent hydrocarbon and the functional group attached to it, right? So if they give any kind of organic compound for you, and if they ask to nomenclature or if they ask to name this organic compound, the first thing is you must identify the parent chain and you must also identify the branching along with that the different functional group attached to the molecule. Here they have given one simple example, that is CH3, CH, CH2, CH, CH and CH3, in which the CH is bonded with OH and another CH is bonded with Br and one more CH is bonded with CH3. Observe here. So before identification of the naming or before the nomenclature of the compound, so you must count the carbon atoms and you must analyze which is the longest chain. The longest chain is generally called as a parent chain, right? So I'll write the same example here, or we'll go with another example, that is CH3, C, 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 and this is CH3, and here like this. So one side it is bonded with the OH group, one side it is a CH3 group. So this is also CH3 and this is CHO, right? So here if you observe, there are different carbon atoms which are bonded in a particular chain, right? So here if you come in a straight line, so this consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 as well as 6. So this consists of right, so 6 carbon atoms in a straight chain. So if you go like this, 1 carbon atom, 2 carbon atom, 3 carbon atom, 4 atom, right? So this is the another way for the identification of the carbon atom, that consists of 4 carbon. Or if you go in this way, right? So in this way, so it consists of 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 carbon atoms, right? So or if you come in this way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Again, if you come in this way, it also consists of 5 carbon atoms. Or if you come from this side, this consists of 4 carbon atoms. And if you come from this side, this consists of also the 4 carbon atoms. So therefore, the parent chain, the identification of parent chain is very important, and this parent chain is also called as the longest chain of carbon atom, right? So the identification of longest chain of the carbon atom, or which is also recognized as the parent chain, that is very important in the naming or in case of nomenclature. The first thing is you have to identify the longest chain, which means the total number of carbon atoms must be greater when compared to the other chains. So if you observe, so you'll get different chains here. One is carbon, carbon, carbon and this carbon. So this is one chain, and you can also get this is one chain, right? And you can observe this is also one chain from here to here, and from here to here also you'll get one chain, and from here to here also you'll get one chain, and extremely this will get the one chain. So you must count the carbon atoms. You must count the carbon atoms, and which is having the highest value, highest number of carbon atom, right? So highest number of carbon atom, then that is recognized, or that is generally called as the parent chain, or it is also called as the longest chain, right? So the first identification is, that is the identification of parent chain. So after the identification of parent chain, so as I have drawn here, so observe this box. This box consists, in this example, that example was different, this example is different, right? So in this box arrangement, you can observe here, so this is one chain, this is second chain, and this might be the third chain, right? So out of these 3 chains, so the first chain, that is carbon, 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 it consists of 6 carbon, and the length of this carbon atom is more. The chain, or the length of this chain, the first chain is more. Therefore, this chain is recognized as the parent chain. And the connections which are bonded here, so here if it is bonded with the aliphatic groups, these are generally called as branch chains. These are generally called as branchings, and here bromine act as a functional group and OH also act as a functional, because these are the specific group of molecules. Already we have seen the definition, that is specific group of atoms or the molecules which are joined in a specific manner, which are responsible for the chemical properties of the organic compound. Therefore, observe here, the bromine and OH generally act as the functional group, and the CH3 group acts as a branching for this main chain. This is a parent chain, or you can call it as a main chain, and there's a particular branching at the particular position, so that is called as a branching. And here there are 2 substituents or 2 branchings but these are not generally called as branching. These are generally called as functional group. Here Br also act as a functional group and OH also act as a functional group. And further, if you go for the IUPAC name of some alkanes, right? So in alkanes, there are these are generally called as straight chain hydrocarbons. The alkanes are also called as straight chain hydrocarbons. The name of such compounds are based on the chain structure that end with suffix ane. If you observe alkane, it ends with ane and carry a prefix indicating the number of the carbon atom present in the chain. Right? So here the nomenclature of alkane. So I'll give some of the examples here. So if you take alkane, right? So here in case of alkane, what happens? The ending alphabet is ane, right? So here, so this ending ane is used for the nomenclature, right? So if it consists of 3 carbon atoms, we will call it as propane. If it consists of 3 carbon atom, we will call it as propane. If it consists of 4, we'll call it as butane, right? So if it consists of 5 carbon atom, it is called as pentane. It is called as pentane, right? So if it consists of 6 carbon atom, that is hexane, right? So if it consists of 7 carbon atom, it is called as heptane, right? So if it consists of 8 carbon atoms, it is called as octane, like this. Ane is used as a suffix, right? So this ane, which is derived from this alkane, observe the alkane. So this ane is derived, and if there are 3 carbon atom, it is called as propane. So if there are 4 carbon atom, it is called as butane, 5 pentane, 6 hexane, 7 heptane, 8 and octane, right? So if you take 3 carbon atom, here if you observe 3 carbon atom in the straight chain, so it consists of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8 hydrogen atom. It consists of 8 hydrogen atoms. So therefore this can be written as C3H8, right? So this can also be written as C3H8. If there are 4 carbon atoms, so this is propane. It is a structure of propane. So if you take an example of butane, in butane what happens? It consists of 4 carbon atoms. Right? So these 4 carbon atoms are further bonded with a hydrogen atom. Right? 1 hydrogen, 2 hydrogen, 3 hydrogen, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. Right? So this is an example for C4H10. Right? So C4H10 is generally called as butane, like this. Right? So this I have given here in the tabular column or tabular arrangement. So the main thing you have to observe is we have taken the ane from alkanes as a suffix, and further by counting the number of carbon atom, the name is given for the different molecule, right? So if the molecular formula is CH4, we will call it as methane. Observe here, the last term is ane in everything. Methane, right? So if it is 2 carbon atoms, it is called as ethane. That is ethane, right? So and if there are 3 carbon atom, it is propane. If there are 4 carbon atom, that is butane, pentane, C5H12 and C6H14 hexane, C7H16 heptane. If there are 8 carbon atoms, so it is further bonded with 18 hydrogen atom, it is called as octane, nonane, decane, C10H22, right? Icosane, right? So that is icosane. So here the example is C20H42, right? So next trioctane, right? So that is C30H62, right? So like this, the naming can be done by using the suffix ane. This is very important. By using the suffix ane, which is used and further indicating the number of the carbon atom as a prefix. There are 2 terms here. One is identification of the number of carbon atoms, further joining that number of carbon atoms with simply by taking ane from alkane, right? So therefore remember, if there are 3 carbon atom, we will call it propane, 4 carbon atom, we will call it as butane, 5 carbon atom, pentane. 5 means pent, right? 6 means hex. Further it is bonded with ane, which means it is mixed with ane, that is called as hexane. That is heptane, 7 carbon atom, 8 carbon atom, octane, like this. So further in case of branched chain hydrocarbons, the alkyl group are prefixed the name of the parent alkane. The alkyl group derived from the saturated hydrocarbon by removing the hydrogen atom from the carbon, the CH4 becomes CH3. right? So if you remove one of the one of the hydrogen atom, then it will convert into methyl. The methane is converted into methyl, right? So here if you observe, if I take CH4, right? So CH4, the carbon is bonded with the 4 hydrogen atom. So this is generally called as a methane, right? So we can convert this methane into the carbon atom. So I will remove one of the hydrogen and further it is bonded with the 3 hydrogen atom. So this is called as a methyl. Observe, this is called as methyl, right? So which means methane is converted into methyl by removing one of the hydrogen. Similarly, if you take a C2H6, right? So this is called as ethane. That is called as ethane. So by removing one of the hydrogen, this what happens? It will become CS2CH3, which means it will become C2H5. It will become C2H5. There is one less in the hydrogen atom, and this is called as ethyl group, which means I have converted ethane to ethyl group. Similarly, if it is C3H8, that is, if you take that is C3H8, I can convert this C3H8 into C3H7. C3H7, and this was initially propane, and I have converted into propyl, right? So by replacing one of the hydrogen, we can convert that into the branched chain hydrocarbon, right? So further that we'll discuss in the next class also. So up to now, remember about the straight chain hydrocarbons and some of the examples regarding with the branched chain hydrocarbons. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. If you have any doubts, please go through the video twice or thrice, because this is very important. Out of this, so one will be for your annual examination for 2 marks, identification of the functional group as well as the identification of the longest chain of carbon atom. So these two are very important for the nomenclature or naming of any of the organic compound. So we'll stop here and we'll continue in the next class. Thanks for joining.